So I broke a rib, and
Did you go to the doctor today?
so I broke a rib, and then I wasn't able to get a long rest Saturday night or Sunday night. Okay. Sorry, I wasn't able to get a long rest on Friday night or Saturday night, but I was able to get a long rest on Sunday night, and everything is healed perfectly fine, and I'm back to normal. I have all my hit die. Everything's great.
You saw your local cleric?
I saw my local cleric. They shot me with divine magics.
Okay.
They examined the skeleton. Everything's fine.
That's good. Good to hear. We don't need grumpy dungeon masters losing ribs and stuff. That'd be horrible.
It was the long rest that healed me.
Yeah. Sure it was.
That's why you always don't take off your armor, and you make sure you get the whole 8 hours of sleep. Otherwise, you just stop functioning in the real world.
That's true. 8 hours of sleep is very important for Grumpy Dungeon Masters, of which this is the podcast for Grumpy Dungeon Masters. I'm Jay. I'm joined with my co-hosts, Christopher, Christian, and Dan. Say hi, guys.
Hello there.
You say hi, guys, man. It's not that hard.
Hello there.
Ugh.
Hi.
Hey, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
I thought this was a wrestling podcast.
No, Craig, you weren't supposed to let her in. What do you mean she pays you? I pay you.
I was sitting here. I was actually watching wrestling right before we started recording. to nobody's surprise.
Let's talk about that instead.
Hi, Shelley.
Hello.
So Shelley, what brings you here to the podcast this week?
I would like to talk about a Kickstarter that I backed that just ended the other day, but it still is accepting late pledges. It's called Historica Arcanum, the Coven of Salem.
I'm gonna have to pause you there, but we will definitely immediately come back to that because we have to get Christian to pitch our social medias.
Yeah.
That's right. We do. You can listen to the Grumpy Dungeon Master podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us on YouTube. You can see us streaming on Tuesdays and Thursday evenings on Twitch TV. Right now going through Valheim, survival crafting in a Viking afterlife. Good stuff.
Shelley, Shelley, are you ready for what Christian is about to throw down?
I hope so.
Oh, you're not ready. You're not ready. Go ahead, Christian.
Coming soon, as inevitable as a Hollywood sequel to a movie you never needed to see another sequel from. As eternal as power creep in a splat book. As likely to happen as, I don't know, another moon landing?
They have one scheduled for next year.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That's about the same time frame that I'm dealing with here. But coming to you soon is an epic, heroic fantasy adventure from the legendary, the inevitable, the powerful, the giant Grumpy Dungeon Master Christopher and his D&D Waterdeep Worldborn Dead campaign. Stay tuned. It will get here before or after the next moon landing.
Yeah.
Remember, you're in that, Shelley.
Yay!
Yeah, I gotta do that, or else I'm gonna lose another player.
That's what I hear, or I can't tell because I can't find it.
All right, Shelley, why don't you go through, and after that embarrassing thing, why don't you go ahead and tell us about this Kickstarter? Because you wanted to talk about it for a while, and we just had a comedy of errors getting you on before the Kickstarter ended.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of these things that you saw, and you immediately backed, just like Crooked Moon, and Crooked Moon was a home run. So let's see if this is a home run.
All right, what was the name of this one again?
Historica Arcanum, the Coven of Salem. The actual adventure itself is called the Coven of Salem, and it's based in the universe that's called Historica Arcanum. It's from a company called Metis Creative, and basically they've got this whole universe of actual historical events that actually happened, but have like a magic undercurrent twist to them. So they've gotten several other historical epics. Basically, it's just the Coven of Salem is the newest one.
Yeah, after I actually looked at the quick start when you reminded me about this, I realized I knew who these guys were because I had I just did the PDF, but I got the PDF of their first one, City of the Crescent.
Oh.
So yeah, I recognized this crew.
Yeah, it's kind of impressive what they've got.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna read a little excerpt from their Kickstarter. From any award-winning Metis creative comes a haunting new chapter in the Historica Arcanum series, The Coven of Salem. Welcome to Salem Village, 1692, where soon the swirling storm of social, religious, and economic pressures will explode into a maelstrom of spite and fear, the Salem Witch Trials. Set amidst one of the most infamous and misunderstood periods in history, the Coven of Salem will grip your players with excitement, intrigue, and the primal dread lurking just beneath the surface. So there you go.
Be gripped.
Shelley, what this was an instant back. What was the hook for you that really got you and said, yeah, this is the thing I'm all in on?
She wants to be a witch.
Well, I mean, just the witchcraft, the Salem witchcraft trials were very interesting to me to begin with, but kind of after Crooked Moon came out and looking kind of more into like the folklore of things, this kind of intrigued me if it was going to be on that same kind of like path, but just have like a nice little reality twist to it, I guess. But just the more I kind of looked into what they're expecting to put out, and then even today, after just looking over the quick start finally, I feel like this is something I'm even more interested in than I was in Crooked Moon. Like I was telling Chris earlier that Crooked Moon is very cool. Awesome way that they put everything together, an awesome set that I've got. But Crooked Moon feels more like a carnival almost. And kind of what they've got here with the Coven of Salem is a lot more realistic and feels a lot more real, I guess, is the main thing. Like you're actually dealing with real places and people and things for the most part that actually happened. And I feel like that's, if they've really got the amount of history in it that they say that they're going to put in it, I think that's amazing.
So is everybody just hallucinating because they have ergot poisoning?
I think because it's in this other universe, it's actually happening to them at that same time. It's just
okay.
It's
yeah.
It's actual historical events, but with magic.
Yeah. Yeah. All of their, I guess, all of their books basically take a slightly different time period. They have stuff from the City of the Crescent is their Constantinople book. They have one called Empires of the Silk Road. They have one based on the Crusades.
That's the one I was interested in.
Yeah, that is. And they're all, they take that that historical events, but a little bit different. So you might have, you have the era of the Crusades, but some of the historical figures might, I don't know, be a vampire or a necromancer or something else there, and some of the motivations and things will be slightly different. They'll be, oh well, this guy was doing this thing back then because he's part of this secret cult that is trying to bring about this apocalyptic thing. Or so they do have that history, so it's easy to kind of ground yourself in okay, I know I can imagine what the city of Cairo looks like, or Constantinople, Istanbul. But there's always an undercurrent of like it is different. It's not just following exactly the history that we know. There is enough of a twist to kind of keep you on your toes.
So,
Yeah.
so other than basically this being like straight witchcraft and that time period, I know the whole like witchcraft lore seems to hit very young but yet adult females pretty hard, and because that's kind of like the start of female empowerment or something that is female led. It was that the draw to it, or is it just more of the time period with the just witchcrafty vibe stuff that
I
drew
mean,
you
kind of
more?
both. Kind of
Okay.
both. Like, especially, the world's on fire right now, and we can all have something that is important to us, and women's rights are kind of a hot topic right now, and this kind of throws back to that, with a time when the similar situations were happening. So it's an opportunity to kind of explore what not what could have been, but like a better, what could my character do with this time setting if I had a cool patron to help me out, that kind of a thing. Like, I suppose probably because I do like warlocks very much, and this is very much a spellcaster heavy um, set. I think that probably helped a lot too.
Yeah.
30 plus new warlock patrons.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say no to
That's
that.
so many. That's so many.
Well, it is, and it's not, because it's not 30 warlock subclasses.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's a bunch of patrons that they theoretically, from what it looks like in the quick start, almost anyone can interact with.
Hmm. That's the vibe that I got from it too.
Yeah. That was the part I liked about the quick start.
Yeah, they do have 12 new folk horror themed subclasses, so I'm guessing one per class.
Yeah.
A bunch of new monsters, 100 plus new spells, which I'm all about. I like that. Like the look of this Kickstarter is fantastic. The art's cool, just sort of the feel of it. Sadly, it's 5e, so I'm just not gonna bother. But that's just me.
Yeah, we all know you don't like good systems that play well and fantastically together. I know.
You mean
We know.
DCC?
No.
You mean Shadow Dark?
Yeah.
No.
You mean
Um,
Pirate Borg?
Wait, are you saying that all these other systems are not good systems?
No, let's not go down this route. Let's focus. Let's focus.
Yeah.
Shadow Dark would have worked really well for this system, I think.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
setting.
100%.
And I'm sure given the popularity they could probably move it to that too. But let's go over in the quick start guide that they gave. There's two subclasses. Why don't you guys go through those?
They had, let me get back to it again. So they had a cleric, and the other one was a warlock. The cleric it's pretty cool. Like, I feel like it makes a lot of sense with this setting. But so when I first saw it, it's the Brimstone Domain, and it's a picture of a Puritan pastor basically, and I'm like, yeah, of course they're gonna do that. But like, the more I read about what the class can actually, or the subclass can actually do, it's actually really interesting. And then of course the warlock is awesome, kind of no matter what. But we'll go over the cleric part first, I guess. So the cleric Brimstone Domain uses fear and stern words of control to manipulate enemies, aid allies, and manage the battlefield. They come from religious traditions which emphasize the use of cautionary tales, terrifying visages, and speeches of fire and brimstone to scare believers and non-believers into good actions and practices. So very puritanical, but the spells that it got two spells, which they're like way farther down in the quick start. So I'll get back to those. But they basically get at level 3, they get an ability called Binding Edicts, which gives them an aura, and there's certain conditions that creatures can meet when they get into the aura, either that are part of the party or are, things that they're fighting. And you can set the terms basically for the edict, and then the hostile creatures can take damage if they do this certain thing, and then they just kind of like get it buffed more and more as they level. But now I know a lot of people probably won't ever get to level 17, but I'm just going to skip to that because this was my favorite part. Level 17, the Bow of God's Wrath. Starting at 17th level, your punishments now deal 5d8 radiant damage. Additionally, when you declare an edict, you can also choose the following option. Loose the Divine Arrow. A creature violates this edict if, before the start of your next turn, it does anything other than remain where it is in silence. Pretty much anything it does, it violates it, and it will take that damage. If it's not standing still and not talking, it's going to take this damage, kind of regardless of what you're doing. I think that's pretty cool.
What's the
Reminds
range?
me of my dad.
So the range, the R is 15 foot.
Okay.
The edicts kind of remind me. I don't know if you guys remember the Inquisitor from Pathfinder 1E, where they could issue judgments, and the judgments would do different things depending on which judgment they activated. It kind of reminds me of that. My issues with this, if you look at it, you get 4 abilities at level 3 and 4 more at level 6. Like, this is a very powerful subclass. And after looking at this quick start, I went and looked back at my other book and realized, okay, yeah, I see this. They kind of share some of the same issues, which is they're super creative. All their stuff feels really cool. Like this is something created by people with a real passion to do something different, try new things. The results are sometimes mechanically trying to think of the right word.
I mean, it sounds like they're kind of all over the place.
They're kind of it is kind of all over the place. I think that I don't know if there's no guidance in the first book, I think, but I think there should be guidance of if you are playing their stuff, you probably only want to use their subclasses, because if you're playing, another cleric next to this cleric, it's not gonna feel good.
I would rather honestly at this point with D&D, if the thing is too powerful, okay, whatever, because normal 5e and 5.5 at this point is so just sterile that it's just boring.
Yeah.
There's no creativity in the classes, and it's not necessarily because the designers don't want to do stuff. It's just they're not allowed to. So any of these other companies who are putting stuff out, Crooked Moon and this one, like, you're going to be able to be a lot more creative with what you're able to do. Yeah,
Yes.
it might lean towards the class not being strong enough, or it might be too powerful, but at least you're doing something interesting.
Yes.
Oh, like look at the Keshar book that we helped work on.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
even them, like even the classes that are, from our opinion, undertuned, and the ones that are overtuned, you still don't want to play in that setting without one of those subclasses, because they just work really well in that setting. And even if this class was too powerful or not powerful enough, I'd still want to play this Brimstone Domain, because that's what it is.
Yep.
That's what the setting's all about. I'm curious as to how they'd handle things like the fighter, who's kind of generic, whether or not they would even let you use muskets or something like that.
Hell yeah.
They definitely have rules. This is if this holds true, and it looks like it does just from the quick start. One of the things that the Historica Arcanum series generally does is this is going to add more rules and more things on top of 5e. They have their own whole profession system, which you have a profession that gives you certain abilities in addition to your class, subclass, and background. They have a more well-rounded and well-defined downtime activities, things you can do in between adventures to either empower yourself for your next adventure or create things. I almost guarantee you there were in previous books rules for different kind of gunpowder weapons. So I'm sure, being this is meant to be in the 17th century, you're going to find those rules for the fighter.
Yeah.
I
So
am interested to see, like you said, like what are they gonna do with the fighter if this is a very spellcast, or just
Witch hunter
caster heavy, right? Like how I'm kind of like
or church
I
soldier.
I just hope it's the guy from Beauty and the Beast. Gaston. Yeah, I just hope it's Gaston.
Oh gosh, that would be great, actually.
Or he's the bard. It'd be fun if he's the bard too.
Yeah, because no one sings like Gaston.
No one sings like Gaston. Man, all right. I really want to play this setting, Shelley. You have to let me play it. I want to be the bard.
I'm kind of disappointed that they I mean, it's just a quick start guide. It's only 37 pages long. I know they can only do so much. I'm kind of disappointed that they went with the, I guess, obvious stuff, for lack of a better term. Whereas like when Crooked Moon put out their quick start guide, if I remember, had a lot more, this is the different kind of stuff you'll see. So I am interested to see when it's not an obvious like warlock or wizard or something like that. Like what else can they really come up with that's gonna kind of be able to stand with some of these caster classes?
Yeah, I agree with that. You're spot on in that, given the kind of nature of this setting they're putting out, throwing out, the spellcasting classes was kind of the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
And it would have been more interesting and more maybe giving you a better idea of what they're really doing if they had picked somebody weirder like the barbarian. In 17th century New England, what's the barbarian?
Right.
Yeah, you're a woodsman, I guess. A little bit
Sure, but,
crazy, living out by yourself.
I was gonna say you're the town drunk.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
maybe,
yeah,
but
there
like
you
that's the question I want to have, and that's what I would be more interested in seeing. And if they did something cool with that and showed it off, then I can be like, okay, yeah,
All right.
look at
All right.
this.
So if you're the monk, are you just the priest from the movie Dead Alive, where you kick ass for the Lord? Is that what you are?
One can only hope. I don't know. You're gonna be a Jesuit.
So that was the cleric. What about the warlock?
The warlock is it's the hanged patron specifically, but it does kind of give you, it says the hanged patron. It doesn't say like the such and such class or whatever. It just says warlock the hanged patron, but it does have different special abilities. So I guess it's just the way that they worded it. This one is very interesting, but I feel like it's still cool. I really like what they did with it. It's not as insane sounding, in my opinion, as the Brimstone Domain Cleric is. eh, but you get to damn people, and then it's the same kind of thing. Like if they're damned by you, then there's different things that you can do, and you get a new version of Eldritch Blast, which basically, if you hit a creature with, it's called noose bound blast. If you hit them with that, it lifts them up into the air and then drops them, so they take fall damage as well as either force or necrotic damage depending on what your setup is.
So his basic attack is force choke.
Yeah.
Sort
Okay.
of. That
Yes.
that is one of my biggest issues of this, is that this just, instead of doing something more interesting with the world, like the idea of the patron is cool. The idea is that your patron is the multitude of spirits of the restless dead, those who were maybe hung or killed wrongly, who are seeking somebody that, can maybe grant them peace or justice through actions in the living world.
By hanging other people.
That idea is super cool. But the way they do it is just, they've said there is no reason for you to ever do anything other than Eldritch Blast.
That's true.
I mean, you're a warlock.
That's the
You're not going to
warlock.
do anything. Yeah, you're not going to do anything else anyway.
Well, that's the kind of the problem. The best warlock subclasses, like say the Hexblade, give you ways to not just be a one-trick pony where you say, "Guess what I do? It's my turn. I Eldritch Blast."
Yeah, but that pony is so pretty, man.
because it's boring. you're basically just a ranger. Just you are using,
Hey,
weird lasers instead of a bow and arrow.
That's her other favorite class. What are you talking?
Oh
So-
man, typecast are we?
Yeah,
But,
I think you just don't understand the intricacies of the classes that play exactly the same way.
Because here's the thing. So you get the Noosebound Blast, so it gives you a way that you hit somebody and it lifts them up, so your Eldritch Blast does even more damage, which means you have even less reason to do anything other than Eldritch Blast.
well,
And
the
then
other
one of
thing
the-
too is it
one of the
says
tethers
that
you get increases
What
your
is it?
Eldritch Blast damage again. So now
Yes.
every time you Eldritch Blast a person, they take the D10 from the Eldritch Blast, the D6 from your Noosebound, and another D6 from your tether. So it's
Mhm.
now a D10 plus 2D6 for each Eldritch Blast.
Wish it was a D8, just to have a different shaped dice.
I'm just
So
gonna
you
Eldritch.
use
I'm
more.
just gonna Eldritch Blast every round of combat. Like why do anything
Yeah.
else then?
Right.
It's
And
a-
then, as you level up, you get more Eldritch Blasts. And then, not only that, your Eldritch Blasts start doing it so they at 10th level, well, your Eldritch Blast automatically reduces their speed by 15 feet for
Oh
each
my.
blast.
By 15?
By
Wow.
15. Now,
That's
if
a
you
lot.
combine that, which means you're an Eldritch Blast Warlock, so there's no reason not to take Repelling Blast.
Yeah.
So now you're going to push them back 10 feet, and it reduces their speed by 15 feet. So you've pushed them away and reduced their speed. They're never getting to you.
Yeah, that might be a bit much. Here I was saying, go let it be a little too powerful, but well, maybe that's just too powerful.
I don't know
No.
what it is, Shelley. Normally they're not this grumpy.
Yeah, we're talking about 5e. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
They'd
like I
rather it be
said,
Shadow Dark, where there's just a spell you may get and then lose.
No, my issue is I think the stuff is cool. But this is I would rather see a warlock that encourages you to do something other than Eldritch Blast.
now to
Yep.
be fair, like what we were just talking about, this is what they threw at us for the quick start guide is like you said, low hanging fruit. So they're I'm not gonna write it off as being constantly a problem. So maybe just this particular warlock subclass is heavy on Eldritch Blast. Maybe there's another one that's not that we just haven't seen yet. But
Well, if they only have 12, that'd be one for each class, including the Artificer, right? Yeah.
No,
The what?
the
It's not
what?
a
that doesn't
thing.
exist.
No, I mean there's 11 in the 11 classes in the PHB, and the Artificer's 12th, right?
You can't math. I don't know. I really like. I'd never heard of this Historica Arcanum, but just looking over, I like what they're doing with this a lot. Since you guys mentioned it earlier, the Empires of the Silk Road, I really, really want that one. I
Yeah.
really want a copy of that. Even if I never run it, I just want it.
They are great as inspiration books. Like
Mhm.
their settings and the way they build worlds is really good. So it's a great inspiration for a place to set a story. Even if you're not going to use their system, you could take the world that they've built, which is our world but a little weird, a little more horror.
Yeah.
They add a little horror to everything. This is definitely a kind of horror leaning world for every one of their system, for every one of their books.
They do have on their website, they've got a lot of free PDFs basically for their different
Mhm.
adventures they put out. So, if I wanted the map pack for the city of Crescent, it's on there for free. The soundtrack for the Echoes of Renaissance is on there for free. So they've got a lot of stuff that you can just kind of look over without having to invest in the whole thing too.
Yeah. Well, sadly, most of the one I want, the Empire of the Silk Road's completely sold out. Not the free stuff, but the other stuff is.
Yeah.
Free stuff
but-
is sold out.
Yep.
Wow.
Totally. They have no free stuff at all. Can't even download free PDFs or anything. No, of course you can. Hi, Dan. Welcome aboard.
Thanks, Craig, for not telling me we were starting at 9:30. What a
Oh,
dick.
hey, get on the right microphone.
No, he's in the closet, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Craig, come on, let me in, dude. Fuck.
Shelley, go over the spells that you wanted to talk about.
Okay. So they've got 2 spells for the cleric, and then the invocation, Noosebound Blast for the warlock, and then 1 spell for the warlock. So the 2 spells for the cleric are Ashen Intercession and Iron Litany. Ashen Intercession, I knew I was going to screw that up. Basically, somebody else takes damage, and then you can reduce that amount of damage. And then you can kind of turn it back around on whatever attacked your friend that you took the damage from. Choose a creature that took the damage, reduce the triggering damage by 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. Then, if you can see the creature that dealt the damage, it must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the attacker can't take reactions before the end of its next turn, and the next time it hits a creature with an attack before the end of its next turn, it takes 1d6 fire or lightning damage. Your choice. So that's kind of a nice little, here, let me help you out real quick kind of thing, which I felt like that class didn't. It does have something else. One of the other things that it can do is kind of like a Healy kind of thing. But other than that, that was the only one I kind of felt was something besides just direct damage. So the other thing I kind of felt about it is it was almost like a tank class, it seems, or a subclass rather, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that the edicts had and things like that required the attention of hostile creatures coming to it in order to do things. So I didn't know if it was. I don't feel like clerics are very tanky, but I know they can be. So I
Oh,
thought
they
that was
definitely
kind of interesting.
they definitely can be, and you're right. This is a cleric that wants to be up close and in the thick of things because your aura
Yeah,
is only 15 feet. So
right.
you want to be in the mix and you want to get the attention of the bad thing.
hmm
Yeah, 100%.
They want
And then
Esmeralda.
the other
Yes.
spell is basically a Misty Step, where either something happens when you
Ah.
land or something happens where you left.
Hey, at least it's in fucking silvery barbs.
Well, that was the first one. Ashen Intercession is damage silvery barbs.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, but at least my roll still goes through. And that crit actually happens. That's the only reason she uses it to stop crits.
Yeah,
So.
Iron Litany is kind of it kind of reminds me of Thunderstep.
Yeah, that's probably a better way to put it. Basically,
Yeah,
when
it's an
you
action, not a bonus action, so it's a little better in that regard.
land at the end of your Misty Step, creatures around you take damage and have disadvantage, or the space you leave is difficult terrain for hostile creatures, and it has to take a wisdom saving throw, and if they fail, they take damage. So it's kind of interesting. It's not as cool as the other spell, though. And then
For a
the
cleric, it
warlock
kind of
spell.
is though, because clerics don't get a lot of teleport and move around spells.
That's true. Yeah.
Except for like every species, I guess is what they're calling them in 5e 2025. That other than human, will end up getting a Misty Step equivalent, right?
Yeah. But especially for this kind of cleric, that brimstone cleric that wants to be close, this is a great spell for if the thing has gotten away from you or, the battle has moved to somewhere else. This gets you back into the thick of things where you want to be.
This reminds me, I mean, I'm coming in late here. It reminds me of the old Pathfinder Inquisitor. Remember that, Christian?
That's exactly what he said earlier.
Okay. All right. Well,
and honestly, it reminds me of the 4E Avenger. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, it sounds like it's something that is not already a standard in 5e, 5e,
yeah,
5.5, whatever the hell we're calling it now. I feel like
5.5 official.
I feel like this could be either a cleric or a paladin variant. Very much like Inquisitor. But
what you missed in the discussion is like we're very curious as to what the non-spellcasting classes would be, because the system seems to be very spell caster focused.
Yeah. I mean, it's 5.5, dude. Everybody has spells except for fighters, and even then, sometimes they got spells.
I mean, all the best subclasses they have, except for Battlemaster, cast spells.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is where I say again that Battlemaster should have just been the core fighter.
Yep.
So, moving on to the bestiary and that amazing fucking artwork with the witch and the fucking goat monstrosity known as the Blighted Moose.
Yeah, this is giving me real 1990s fucking White Wolf feels, except it's in color, which is pretty great looking.
If I don't see Nicolas Cage in one of these pieces, stuck in a wicker man.
So
No,
what do
the
you,
picture in
what do you
the
think of the Blooded Moose, Shelley?
the picture in the quick start of the witches dancing around the flaming moose that's just fucking. I want a poster of that. That is awesome. That is so fucking cool. But like I read the stats on it, and I had to keep reminding myself that it's a CR5, so it's probably not something that low level characters are gonna run into because it's pretty tough looking. But
It's definitely the boss for a party at level 3s.
yeah, for sure.
Depending on how big the group is. Yeah.
But yeah, I like it a lot. That's very
Jay,
cool.
you want to go through and read its stat block real quick?
I don't have it open in front of me. I don't have that PDF.
I do.
I put it in the Discord.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Thanks for telling me. Finally.
You did.
I did.
Definitely did.
So CR5, 100 HP, AC 16. Immune to fire, necrotic, charmed, frightened, poisoned, exhaustion. Unnerving corpse. The presence of the blighted moose stirs the memory of rotten graves and old rites. The area within 10 feet of it is filled with drifting ash and heat. A creature that starts its turn within 5 feet of the moose takes D10 fire damage. Charge of the Pustulant. If the blighted moose moves at least 20 feet straight towards a creature, then hits with the score on the same turn, target takes an extra 2d8 piercing damage and must succeed on DC 14 strength check or be knocked prone. Higher Smoke. A creature that starts its turn within 10 feet of the moose must succeed on DC 12 con save or have disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the start of its next turn. I feel like they could have combined the Pyre Smoke and Unnerving Corpse in the same thing because they're
Thank
both
you.
within 10 feet.
I saw that too, and that was the first thing that jumped out to me in this, is that I hated that it has two 10-foot auras, but they're separated by a charge ability.
Yeah, it doesn't read very well. Anyway, multi-attack, plus 7 to hit, 2d8 plus 4 piercing, plus a d8 fire, hooves, plus 7 to attack, one on one prone creature. So if it charges, then it can hoof attack something. Blight at Breath. It's got a breath attack, 6d6 fire damage, DC 14 save. It's a 15-foot cone. Recharge from 5 to 6. Bonus action, Ashen Glare. Fixes its grave gaze on one creature. Can see within 30 feet. DC 14 save or be frightened of the moose. And reaction, Ashen Lunge. Trigger, when the moose is hit by a ranged attack from a creature it can see that is more than 15 feet away, responds. It can move up to 20 feet toward that creature without provoking opportunity attacks until the start of the next turn. Attack rolls against it by creatures within 5 feet have advantage. What? Okay, that's
So
weird.
a ranged attack, and it runs to whoever attacked it, and then until from that point
Doesn't
to its next
attack
turn.
though,
I
and
guess
everybody else
not.
gets advantage.
Yes,
That's weird.
until it attacks.
Part of me likes how they gave this CR5 non-legendary creature a bonus action and a reaction, and a bunch of extra stuff to actually make it like a semi-boss encounter. But they kind of dropped the ball a little bit on statting it out, in my opinion. This could have used some better editing. But you're right, though, Shelley. The art is phenomenal. That's
The next one is better.
I was going to ask. The next one is the Carnal Hag. And,
Charnel.
Charnel.
Carnal.
No.
Carnal Hag's something different.
I hate you all. All right. So, Shelley, you like to dress up as a hag and cast spells on me. It's our pastime. Do you want to dress up as this hag?
The best part is I I took this page by page. So I scrolled and I read the whole stat block and everything. And I was like, okay, that's really cool. And then I scrolled down and saw the artwork and I was like, oh shit. No wonder it has illusory a disguised self for an 8-hour duration.
Yeah, it's gonna need that.
Yeah.
It's pretty
All right.
spooky.
Dan, stat block.
Do I have to read the entire stat block? Okay.
No, just the key points.
I'll do the key points here. She is CR4, AC 14, 76 HP. She's got Coven magic within 30 feet of at least 2 hag allies. The hag can cast one of the following spells requiring no material components. Standard hag stuff. Bestow curse, speak of the dead, spare the dying, gentle repose, revivify or raise dead. Okay. Mimicry can mimic animal sounds and humanoid voices. That's kind of neat. Grotesque visage, AC 14, any humanoid that starts to turn within 30 feet of the hag and can see the hag's true form. Failure. This target's exposed skin becomes covered in boils and necrosis, and they take 2d6 necrotic damage until they are healed or become the target of a spell that removes curses or hexes. Success. Target takes no damage, suffers no ill effects. And they're immune to grotesque visage for 24 hours. She's got a multi-attack with a rotten stick for +4 to hit, d6 +2, and 3d8 necrotic. Spellcasting, not much. Detect magic, inflict wounds, invisibility, self only, but she leaves no tracks, which is kind of neat. And ray of sickness. And
Did you ever see the movie Annihilation?
Yep.
No.
Fucking watch that movie.
There's a bear in there.
Yep.
That pretty much the whole like can mimic human voices and animal sounds. Like that is all I think about when you read that stat block out about how like this thing is just like help me, roar, help me, roar.
Yeah, this is a very creepy enemy that follows the lower level party around, that doesn't have see and viz, doesn't really have any means of figuring out what's going on, but she can mimic people's voices. She's the one that shows up at camp invisible and starts talking shit. This is something that can stalk the party for several sessions before they finally actually encounter her. Maybe they encounter her with 2 of her sisters and a blighted moose. So
hell yeah! Who do you think is some of the blighted moose? It's goddamn carnal hags.
One
Different kind
one
of
of them is
hag.
riding it.
Different kind of hag.
Okay, the Chanel hag.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
that's precisely it. Yes. Okay.
Yep.
You find them in New York City.
Yeah. Owns a perfume company.
Smells like rotted flesh.
No big deal.
This is our new scent, Balzac. So what's next in this quick start guide?
Next
The
they
warlock
have
patrons.
Warlock patrons, sort of.
So how many are in the quick start guide?
2.
2? All right.
Of
Because you said
30.
there were 30. I was like, oh my god.
But it's not 30, like I said, it's not 30 subclasses. It is an idea for a patron, things that, like, ways you make a pact with them, what they offer you, what they want from you in return, and how do you deepen your pact. And it's almost like they call them warlock patrons, which is weird.
But more like group patrons.
But it's not a subclass. And it's not clear, like, can other people other than warlocks? What does this do with the patron you already have? Like, there's some unclarity, but
this specific one actually does kind of say that it speaks aloud to its warlocks, but nobody else can hear what they're talking about. They just hear like discussion about the weather. So at least in this one, they kind of answered that in a sense. But I do still agree with you that it could be something that like other classes could use.
Yeah, because the thing is about when you're a warlock, like you're gonna get a subclass that is your patron. That's what a warlock subclass is what patron are you following? But this is also another patron, so can you I hope there'll be more. The ones they offer are really cool. I like the ones here, but my question would be like, can you make packs with more than one? Is this a thing that like this is replace your patron? Does this replace some of your subclass abilities? Questions I have,
Right.
but what's here is cool.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is the Vagrant King. And this is an entity drawn to the collective sighs and cries of the constantly traveling, those without homes and without shelters, those whose evening meals consist of fish or hen or carcass from a midden heap. In desperation and hope, longing for better times, people make prayers to gods and hope for succor. However, sometimes other beings hear the message first. The Vagrant King is one of those entities. It has a peculiar interest in the pilgrim, the weary traveler, and the unhoused. It's not strictly good or evil, and does not grant boons to those who walk the well-trodden path of death to honor, and yet they also not raise their pack keepers to the highest stations. It is illumination in the grime, and there are secrets to be found where others might deign to look. So this is the travelers of the roads less traveled. So it's looking for people that are going to explore places or move about constantly in places that are not the well beaten path. It's interesting. It makes no direct demands of its warlocks, at least at the beginning. Its decision making and goals seem arbitrary and inscrutable. At one moment, the stranger may reward its followers for spreading lies and sowing doubt. At other times, an act of kindness to another downtrodden might spur a boon from it.
Now, you said you bought one of these from this company before. Do they bring in real world religions into this at all? Like,
They
will there be
do.
like a Jesus patron?
I don't think there will be there wasn't something like that in the first one, but real world religions are part of it because, like you saw in the brimstone thing, it talks about it being, figures of the Calvinist church, right?
Yeah.
So it is going to take place in that because you are like this setting is 17th century New England. You are in the United States in the New England area.
All right.
The setting I have is in the city of Constantinople.
I really do
Istanbul.
hope there is a Jesus patron.
So in the Crusades one, like it is, two of the big figures are, the Leper King, so it's taking historical figures, which means you have real religions, you have Christianity, you have, you have Muslims, you have Jewish traditions. It's putting a spin on everything. Like in their Crusader things, one of the things it is not all as well in Cairo because the old Egyptian gods are rising and people are walking the streets and doing miracles in the name of the old gods.
I just hope like the patron's like, yeah, you got to eat part of me like every month and drink my blood and
Every month.
every month.
Well,
Yeah,
like,
communion was every
Sunday,
month, right?
bro.
So
Every Sunday,
they
bro.
talk about these as
No,
far
that's
as
Catholics. No,
like
that
like
was
this is a
Catholicism.
warlock patron, the Vagrant King, but I could see you using this as like anybody that travels could try to make a deal, and that's where it
Right.
becomes interesting because anybody can get, you get benefits here from doing it. You have things you have to do for it, and there's things you have to, if you want to keep advancing your pact and get more attention from it. There's things you do for it, and then it does things for you.
Well, really, because under advancing your pact, when it talks about the things that you could get, really only one of them would apply to the warlock. You gain the one with Shadow's Invocation, but the others it could apply to anybody really. You are immune to cold damage. You transform into a rat or non-flying insect for 1 minute. Your weapon attacks deal an additional 2d8 poison damage. You can cast Tiny Hut once per day without expending a spell slot, and you can cast Expeditious Retreat once per day without spending a spell slot. So those are things that anybody, quote unquote, could have as a special power from this.
No Misty Step?
Not yet.
Mm.
That's the next one.
Oh, is it?
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
The next patron is, in fact, one of the greater things that it could give you if you advance your pact is you cast Misty Step once per day without expending a spell slot.
I swear to
that-
God, if I ever publish my own setting, there's going to be a fucking spell. It'll be a level 1 spell. It's a reaction when somebody teleports away from you. You can stop the teleportation.
Yep.
Yeah, they had this great spell called Dimensional Anchor back in 3rd edition, and it was fantastic because it was the only way to stop villains from monologuing and getting away.
Ooh,
But-
it was the anti-DM spell.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
It was
was.
great.
That's rough, buddy.
not to end things on this note, but Matt Mercer's Bloodhunter class,
Oh, are we,
an ability called Brand
Greg!
Castigation.
are we at the end of the
if somebody-
podcast here?
that if somebody tries to teleport away from you, if you've branded them, they have to make a successful save, or it stops the
Branded.
teleport and they take damage.
I'm pretty sure the Avenger had something like that. Like if when you put your vow of enemy on somebody, and they like moved away from you or teleported away from you, you could use your reaction to follow them, which I thought was pretty
That's
neat.
the Vengeance Paladin.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about this other warlock patron that Misty steps you into China or whatever.
The Gray Embrace. I'm not going to even try to say the name of it.
Oh, I will. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to hear him mess this up.
Go for it, man.
I thought about putting it into Google.
Says rank Setlin.
Yeah, that was perfect, man.
Yeah,
It's very close to what I thought it was,
nailed
actually.
I nailed it.
Says Rek Setlin.
I kind of want you to read the names of all of the different gods from the Dungeon Crawl Classics book on this
Please no.
podcast.
Please
I'm
no.
a professional writer, guys. I'm not a professional reader.
I'm not a professional pronouncer, guys.
All right, go through this one, Shelley.
I like the Vagrant King better than this one. But this one has a better like feel to it, I think. It's basically just a spirit from Al Gabe, which I'm not real sure what it sounds familiar, but I'm not real sure what that is. I guessing it's something outside of our world, and it's basically trying to either get back to where it's from, or be able to experience life and nature and things like that. It's everything it touches dies because it's constantly trying to experience what life is like on Earth, but
Oh,
it just everything
yeah.
it comes in contact with just withers and dies.
Yeah, Al Gaib. Lisan Al Gaib. No, that's
No
what it
idea.
is. It's from the movie. It's not from the movie Dune, but it's from the movie Dune.
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's a Muslim fundamentalist Islamic. I'm looking at the AI overview right in here. Fundamental Islamic theological concept referring to realities beyond human perception, senses, and knowledge.
Okay. That makes a little bit more sense then.
Yeah.
It's basically, it looks like what you're trying to do to improve your relationship with it as a patron is help it figure out how to get back there. And that's basically it, other than it does let you cast Misty Step once per day when you get friendly enough with it.
Oh, yeah, Misty Step.
You gotta do them favors, and you get
That's
Misty
what I'm
Step.
talking about. That fucking Misty Step, right? Yeah.
All right, so the next thing that was in the Kickstarter for this book that you mentioned was, I know we're going to skip over the backgrounds and the familiars, but the new mechanic that they added for this Kickstarter for their setting, the Weird Craft. What is that, and how weird is it?
Mild.
Oven rituals?
Yeah,
These are
That was-
actually really cool.
that was my setup.
Well, I don't know if it's just the Coven rituals. It says the Weirdcraft section of the Coven of Salem will contain a revamped ritual and curse system, including rules for casting rituals with groups. So I think it's probably not just the ritual part, but I'm not sure if that ties in with the downtime stuff because they don't really kind of touch on that too much.
Yeah, they don't talk a whole lot about what the blessing and curses are going to look like.
Hmm.
But the rituals they show you in the section after that,
Hmm.
and the mechanics of doing these ritual castings, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Like some of obviously the higher level rituals take more effort and more people involved. I do like that you don't have to have it doesn't have to be 3 warlocks. It can be just 3 casters. So it has so each ritual has a minimum number of people to cast it, casting time, ritual radius, ritual backlash, which is basically something that's going to start happening to the casters. Um, if you get more than the minimum number of casters, you can make the backlash less bad. And then it has something if what happens if the ritual gets disrupted, what happens if it collapses, and it looks like it basically depending on what level of the ritual it is. It can be anywhere from a couple will-o-wisps will appear if it collapses, and then I think there was another one that said a fire elemental will appear and attack everyone. So
Nice.
it's a couple different kinds of things, depending on what you want it to do. But it goes up as high as I think 9 casters. Gift of the Witchfire was the highest level one. Minimum coven of 9 casters, but you need 2 extra casters per additional recipient of the gift. Casting time 12 hours. Every hour, 3 shadows erupt from the grimoire and attack the casters for the backlash. Uh, for ritual disruption, the creature may not use magic for 48 hours. That's kind of tough. And basically, all of that work gets a conduit open to raw magical power that grants temporary arcane ability. Choose one creature within the ritual circle. For 1 month, each recipient gains basic magical ability comparable to a novice spellcaster. So recipients may learn 2 cantrips, which they can use at will, or learn 2 level 1 or level 2 spells.
They
depending
learn
on
Misty
the
Step.
ritual. I didn't get to Misty Step yet.
Of
Oh wait, no,
course.
there's no Misty Step in this one.
No, there is. They learn spelled magic, so they learn Misty Step.
Yeah.
As one of that. Well, I guess so. Or sense magical energy. So it's a cool little something that's not just constant combat or a dungeon or role play. Like it's an extra thing that you can do that's interesting and fun.
This is the kind of stuff that I love, that I wish was in like core D&D, things
Yeah.
of this nature.
Yeah, these are all neat. I love that, like, there's no, like, you can minimize the consequences if you can get enough people to overchannel, but they don't
Mhm.
go away. And there's always
Right.
going to be something, like, the rituals are always with a little bit of risk. And I
Mhm.
like that. Like, there's this high level one is the Wrath of the Turning Earth. You have to have a minimum of 9 casters. It takes 12 hours or longer, depending on the scale. Every hour, an unstable elemental energy erupts from the ritual site. Roll a d6 to determine effect. The chosen effect originates from the center and function as the corresponding spell. It could be a fireball goes off in the middle of all the casters, a lightning bolt, a thunder wave, a cone of cold, an acid arrow, or a stinking cloud.
An ass arrow?
Mm-hmm.
Acid arrow.
Oh.
Yeah, MILF's ass arrow.
Yeah.
Somebody let Luke Gygax know.
But yeah, these are neat because so like those things go off every hour. You have to concentrate on this for 12 hours. Well, you take damage and then you have to make a concentration check, and then if your concentration blows up, well, the ritual can collapse.
Yeah, and then bad things
Or
happen.
or you could choose to take the effects of the ritual disruption. For like this one, if you failed your concentration, you said, I don't want to stop concentrating. You can go like, I will take the disruption, which means you take the effect of fireball, lightning bolt, and cone of cold.
Oh,
You can roll the saving throws at least to maybe reduce
Yes.
it.
Yeah, you do take it's just the spells go off on you. You have to make all those spells.
Greg, bring me my ring of evasion.
well. But if you do succeed in this ritual, you can cause a natural disaster.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Floods, landslides, violent storms,
It's
earthquakes.
not natural anymore, right?
Well, yeah, that's fair.
Supernatural disaster.
Tsunamis, things like that. That's brutal.
Yeah, they would just all die.
Yeah.
That's what happened to the Mayflower. I get it now. I learned that in school.
Did you?
Yeah.
It was witches.
Yep. Hey, in my school, yeah, that's what they taught me.
Yeah, I believe that.
So you said it's back and it's still open for the late backers, late pledgers. When's it supposed to be delivered?
This time next year, April 2027. What I backed it for was the collector's edition, I think.
Collector's
Nice.
box, the collector's box set.
Not the let me look. Not the super expensive one.
Ultimate Collector's Edition.
Not the $400
Ultimate
one.
Witch
No.
Collector.
Yeah, the collector's box set was like $250
Collector's
or
box
so. Yeah.
It was it was $199 for early backers.
Yeah.
So that one comes with
It's a lot of stuff.
all 3 books, tarot deck, really cool looking dice set that looks like bones, a GM screen, hand-drawn maps of Salem and the surrounding area, and then access to all PDFs in the full digital library and the applicable stretch goal unlocks, and a complimentary PDF copy of all the previous Historica Arcanum titles, which I thought was really cool.
That
Yeah.
is
You get,
cool.
Sorry, you get what? PDF or
A PDF
hardcover?
of all the previous ones. Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, those are that's really cool.
That's pretty neat. I'm
Yeah,
a lot
the
of stuff
dice look like little
guys.
bones.
Yep.
I've always wanted a set of dice that looked like little bones. Years ago, I saw it was like some Pirates of the Caribbean. It was like Jack Sparrow's skeletal hand, but they were bones. And like, I should have bought them when I saw it because it would have been really cool, but I didn't. And I feel sad now.
Yeah, they're all stretched out. So they look. There's
like
one
little
that's
finger bones.
roundish. Yeah, they all kind of look like finger bones, except for one that I'm guessing is probably the D20 is roundish, but still has points on the ends. But the other ones, yeah, that's what they remind me of, is like finger bones.
It's a kidney stone.
If your kidney stones look like that, you got problems.
Yeah, so hopefully only a year to take it to get here. It looked like I looked back at their other ones, and it looks like that's about what the other Kickstarters took to deliver. So
I mean,
Awesome.
April next
honestly,
year.
yeah, a year for a Kickstarter's pretty good.
Mhm.
I've definitely had some that were like 3 years.
Yeah, and this is like their fifth one?
They've done
Fifth
a
or sixth,
bunch,
yeah.
and I do seem to recall they're usually pretty good about delivering on time or very close to it. You don't tend to see the like, hey, we estimated a year, but actually we meant 2.5 years.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it happens.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Any last minute things you want to discuss about this Coven of the Salem Witch Trial Kickstarter
Oh
thing?
my God. Historica Arcanum, the Coven of Salem.
Thank you. No, like I said, I'm very excited for it. It's a lot of stuff, and I think it's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to getting it.
Thank you, Shelley.
Yeah.
Now I get to talk about my stuff because I didn't do it first. I let Shelley go first because I am a considerate husband.
All right, so we're already over an hour, right?
Yeah.
It'll be quick.
I don't have to wait
it-
till next time because I got the Matt Mercer's top 10 coming up.
No,
Yeah.
no.
What, Craig?
I have to talk about this now.
Yeah,
You get 5 minutes.
Okay, so we missed the. I missed running Adventures League because my wife and I went to AEW. While I was gone, the DM that runs the table, the other table outside of mine, his group finally got up to Lareth the Beautiful, and guess what happened, guys?
I know
They all
what
died.
happened.
They made a deal.
TPK. He fucking killed them all. He killed them all, but technically he didn't kill them all. He just wiped them all out. Lareth stabilized them all and took away all their gear and stuff, enslaved them, and is bringing them to Nulb. So he's got
No.
one person that wasn't there. He was DMing for me because I was missing. Has got to mount a rescue mission to rescue them. So I thought that was good. At least I'm not the only DM in Adventures League now that's TPK'd the party. So
You've
That's all I'm saying.
TPK'd parties before.
I'm saying
you
I'm not
have.
the only DM.
Oh, okay.
Now this other DM has TPK'd a party, so it is easy enough.
Gotcha.
And second, we were kind of poking fun at our one friend who played all the Kennedys, who was playing a cleric, and he had kept making his door glow, and he was worshiping the door. So that came up again, and he was worshiping the door and kind of just running with it. They had to get outside this magical door, or they had to get through a magical door where a bunch of treasure laid within his tomb outside in the wilderness that they were exploring. And he kept going on this. He started praying to the god of doors to get this door to open. And that's when one of the other players goes, "Wait, this is
Door?
Greyhawk, right?" I was like, "Yeah, we're technically in the Greyhawk setting." He goes, "Wait a second." And so he made out his phone and he Googled a little bit. There's a fucking god of doors in the Greyhawk setting, guys.
Oh my lord, really?
Yes,
I mean,
Dalt.
Technically speaking, there's a Roman god of doors too.
Right. So Dalt is the Suel deity of portals, doors, enclosures, locks, and keys. His holy symbol is a locked door with a skeletal key beneath it. And because he's the one, he was like the one person that's like, I'm not going to follow Lareth the Beautiful, but I'll bide my time. Because he was the only one that didn't like go against his better judgment to side with him. I let him do a religion check to open the door to this tomb, and by God, he got like a 23 something. The door is open. All right. He now knows the name of his god. His god has spoken to him. He's like, destroy Lareth the Beautiful. Take the treasures inside this tomb and slay him. Well, I didn't look what the treasures inside the tomb were. The treasures inside the tomb is a +1 shield, a +2 plate armor, and fucking +2 mace of striking.
Ah, first edition. Good stuff.
Isn't all the stuff that Lareth the Beautiful's using?
No, this is the stuff in a tomb of some other guy of St. Cuthbert that is just very...
Lareth the Beautiful has a mace of striking, doesn't he?
He has a staff of striking.
Okay.
So now this cleric knows the name of his god and has a holy mission to basically strike down and kill Lareth the Beautiful. And the whole party is just 100% for it. I don't think I've had a situation work out this well in a long time.
Yeah, for once they didn't side with the bad guy.
Well, and they found their new freaking group patron, which is Dalt, the god of doors, it seems.
Yeah.
They're all converted. They're all worshiping the door.
Dalt, the opener of ways, the god of doors and portals.
Oh God.
So, yep. All I could think of is that there was just some guy when they were running this game and writing the stuff was just as crazy as this guy I have in Adventures League, and they just codified everything that he said, and now the world is better and crazier for it, and it's amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Any last minute things, Shelley? Do you have the Matt Mercer top 10 list?
Oh, hold on a second before you go pull that out.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear the news? Read the news? Read about this? The new thing that Free League's going to publish.
No, but I'm interested because I love Free League.
Not just Free League.
Free
What's
League.
Free League?
Free League is a big publishing house that does a lot of great
Role-playing games.
role-playing
Yep.
games. Cyberpunk Red, Traveler, Shadowrun, now,
Alien.
Call of Cthulhu. They do a lot of stuff. Alien was a big one. Sorry, I was rallying them off, but Dragonbane has gotten the authority from Michael Moorcock himself to publish Legends of Stormbringer, Elric of Melnibone for Dragonbane. So there's going to be core rules for playing in the world of Elric coming out, it looks like next year.
Nice.
And I've been wanting to play Dragonbane for a long time, but I kind of don't want to learn the world. But I can learn the shit out of that world because I read the books, and that's a fucking cool world.
Yeah,
So,
I
and
mean,
the art they have for the cover of Legends of Stormbringer already look, I mean, fantastic. So I'm
They're not
excited.
the only one that got that license.
No.
Goodman Games has also announced
Ooh.
a Stormbringer Elric game coming out based on the DCC and 5e system.
I mean,
Coming in 2027, they're going to build a Kickstarter to run their own Elric based game based on DCC and 5e.
I actually have an email about writing our own Grumpy Dungeon Master Elric the Stormbringer setting.
what?
No.
Was it from Matt Mercer?
Yeah, better have been from Matt Mercer.
No. The Matt Mercer thing is, I figure since Craig is here and the owner of the podcast, my wife is here, Craig won't cut us off. So
That's true. Yeah, he
Can
definitely
you go
would.
and start this? Go and start the top 10.
all right, Shelley, what is the number 10 Matt Mercer DM tip?